Now, most people will recognize this street preacher, but for those of you who are unaware of who he is, his name is David Lynn. He's pretty well known and respected by many, so I won't be surprised if I get stoned over this one. And the reason why I'm showing you this is to show how I believe that David Lynn started to launch his own kingdom that has been in his heart to do for a very long time. See, to make yourself known in the type of position that David Lynn has, you have to create a controversial conflict that makes you look amazing, but at the same time persecuted. I'll speak more on that a little later.
I didn't know that this was the first day of the Pride Month, so I just simply I didn't go to any event. I didn't say anything specific to the LGBT community. It's all on live stream.
Now, in this interview about David Lynn's arrest, he is stating that he didn't say anything specific to them in that community, as he's standing there looking traumatized with a bewildered look on his face, like a deer caught in headlights while trying to appear innocent, when it was David Lynn that had started this whole thing. You will see how the people in that community was just standing there quietly with their signs, not speaking a word to David Lynn. Don't get me wrong, I'm not in defense of that lifestyle, but we also, as people of God, can't be lying on people to make us look better.
I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything. You saw that, right? I got assaulted.
In this next clip, you will see how the people in that community was just standing there quietly with their signs, not speaking a word to David Lynn.
So I'm coming out of the closet and saying I'm a Christian. And I want to know whether you would tolerate me as a Christian. Would you tolerate me, sir? Would you tolerate me as a Christian? I don't want to engage. Ma'am, would you tolerate me as a Christian? Would you tolerate me as a Christian? Go away? Okay, so you're a bigot. Would you tolerate me as a Christian? You don't want to talk to me. Would you tolerate me as a Christian? You don't want, you're telling me to get out?
So David Lynn is going up to them, trying to force them to engage with him and going up into their faces with a microphone, saying, would you tolerate me as a Christian? Would you tolerate me as a Christian? Would you tolerate me as a Christian? That was very provoking. David Lynn is not stupid. He knows how easily triggered that community is. David Lynn is the one who gaslighted that whole situation and then tried to portray himself as the innocent victim.
Okay, so I'm just going to continue on with what I had to say. We have people that can't even say that they love me. They can't even say that they tolerate me, and I didn't even say anything. They can't even say that they tolerate me, and I didn't even say anything. They can't even say that they tolerate me, and I didn't even say anything. Would you tolerate me as a Christian? So you don't want to talk to me? You don't want to talk to me? They tolerate me, and I didn't even say anything. Would you tolerate me as a Christian? So you don't want to talk to me? You don't want to talk to me? They tolerate me, and I didn't even say anything. Would you tolerate me as a Christian?
For those of you who don't just want my opinion, let me ask you, what do you think that Jesus would have done in this situation? Refused to leave the town when they all wanted him to leave? Or do you think that he would have continued to run around in a circle and having all those people following him and harass him? Or do you think he would have dusted off his feet and left that town? If people do not receive you, leave their town and shake the dust off your feet as a testimony against them.
I
have the right to preach, sir.
You have the right to preach without your microphone on.
I have the right. We've dealt with this in court already. You have
the right to preach without your microphone on.
I have the right. We've dealt with this in court already. So what's going on, sir? What's really happening, sir? Is I was physically assaulted. I'm asking you to arrest me. You didn't investigate the assaults. If you want to issue a ticket for the bylaws, I'm more than willing. On what grounds?
For causing a disturbance.
No one's causing a disturbance.
You are, because
by exercising freedom of speech.
I need to know what I did according to the law. This is against the law. This is against the law. Cause of disturbance and breaching the peace. How so?
I already explained it to you lots of times. You just don't want to listen.
Sharing the gospel. I was sharing the gospel.
David Lynn is now arguing for his rights. Now, just because the government has made something legal or we do have rights in certain areas doesn't mean we should always partake in those things or exercise those rights, because we have to consider what God would want us to do in certain situations, regardless of whether we had rights or not. Also, if the government made crack cocaine and heroin, all that legal, should we now start partaking in those? No, we have got to follow the things that God wants us to do. And for David Lynn to continue to stay there and allow that whole situation to magnify when it could have been diffused and over by him handling it the way that God would want him to handle it, it wouldn't have gone that far. But see, David knows that this is a money shot. He knows that the cameras are rolling. And that's why he keeps talking about the gospel and Jesus and all that, why he's being arrested, because he knows that all you Christians are going to watch it. And those are the money things to say, because he wants to look persecuted. He wants to look like the victim and that he's being treated unfairly. He wants to pull on the Christians to get that money, get that notoriety. And I'm going to tell you something. David is a very good manipulator, and I'm sorry if some of y'all can't see all that, but people who are on the streets that know the game or know the minds of people like that know what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying that David doesn't do anything good and he's all bad and he's a wolf, but I do have a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, and I see a lot of red flags being put up with him. And I see that he is a manipulator. This is Dorre Love, who has a ministry called the Ministry of the Word. Now, you will hear the interviewer ask David Lynn about Dorre Love, and David Lynn will reply to the interviewer disassociating himself from the Ministry of the Word when Dorre Love is standing right behind him, cheesing all up in the camera. But as soon as Dorre hears his ministry being spoken about, he stops smiling and hides his face. So, and also I want to add, just because they may not have, Dorre Love may not be in his ministry like that, they still associate with each other. They still talk with each other, I'm sure. Or else, why would he be right there behind him?
3 weeks ago, though, when one of your fellow parishioners went to that same location, it caused a bit of a
he hasn't been our parishioner. He hasn't been going to our church for about 7 to 8 months. He has his own ministry called Ministry of the Word.
But you knew he went there.
Look at Dorre cheesing. And as soon as he hears him talking about him, watch how his face change, and he starts hiding his face. Oh my. You can tell what he's thinking, like, oh my goodness, let me hide. Oh my gosh, y'all, I died laughing when I saw that. Oh my goodness, Dorre, you a hot mess, boy.
He has his own ministry called Ministry of the Word.
You knew he went there.
I don't follow someone else's ministry. We're not related. He has his own ministry, and it's unfortunate that I'm being connected and tied to somebody else who has their own ministry.
Highlighting the life of the Toronto street preacher, making street preachers heroes. Highlighting the life of the Toronto street preacher, making street preachers heroes. Highlighting the life of the Toronto street preacher, making street preachers heroes.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not making a whole bunch of money.
I'm making a living preaching. So God pays me well to get spit on and to get punched at. God pays me too well.
Yo, bro, I'm not making a whole bunch of money. Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not making a whole bunch of money.
I'm making a living preaching. So God pays me well to get spit on and to get punched and to get laughed at.
Another thing, I got arrested, bro. I got arrested, and you guys sent me a whole bunch of money to not go to jail. You guys sent me a whole bunch of money. You guys sent me a whole bunch of money. You guys sent me a whole bunch of money. A whole bunch of money. Whole bunch of money. Me a whole bunch of money. You guys sent me a whole bunch of money. You guys sent me a whole bunch of money. Whole bunch of money. Me a whole bunch of money. A whole bunch of money. What it comes down to is people are jealous of me.
But JP is the one that set up the GoFundMe or the whatever pay site they used. JP's the one that set up the site where Dorre took in $70,000.
JP was the one, when I was locked up, he was the one that made a video that started the fundraiser. And so I gave him access to my YouTube, which I shouldn't have done. That was my fault. So when I gave him access to my YouTube, he started seeing how much money I would make from the donations because I got arrested. And he also started seeing how much money I would make from live streams. And then he started asking me for money. Just a quick side note. Every single street preacher out there, their channel is monetized. I'm the only street preacher that didn't monetize my channel. If I was about money, why is my channel not monetized? Another thing, every time you go live, you can get money through super chats. Have you noticed I don't really go live that much? If it was about money, there's so many ways that you can make money through YouTube.
Things that make you go, Things that make you go,
Dorre thinks everyone's stupid. Dorre, the reason you stopped doing live streams is because you weren't making money anymore. When you were bringing in bigger dollars on those live streams, you were live streaming almost every other night, multiple times a week. Then the money started to slow down after you got whooped in that debate, and then you couldn't really take it anymore because it was embarrassing because no money was coming in. You sat there like a little fraud giving people extra attention who paid you money on super chats, like a little coward who shows favor to people that hand over cash over people that don't have any money. And then when it fell off, you just slowed down with the live streams altogether.
I'm making a living preaching. So God pays me well to get spit on and to get punched and to get laughed at. God pays me too well.
Yo, bro, I'm not making a whole bunch of money. Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not making a whole bunch of money.
God pays me too well.
Yo, bro, I'm not making a whole bunch of money. Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not making a whole bunch of money.
I'm making a living preaching. So God pays me well to get spit on and to get punched and to get laughed at.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not making a whole bunch of money.
God pays me too well.
Yo, bro, I'm not making a whole bunch of money. Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not making a whole bunch of money.
God pays me too well. God pays me too well. I'm making a living preaching. So God pays me well to get spit on and to get punched and to get laughed at.
What it comes down to is people are jealous of me.
Hey, this is Pastor David Lynn, and I'm so excited because I am opening up a website where you can have access to some of my books, some of my music, and some of my tracks, and even a new clothing line. Coming out with a book that is called Avoiding Relational Ruin. This is for couples. And also another book, What's on My Mind, covering all the different wise sayings and posts that I have made.
$40? You're charging $40 for a book? Dang! What in the world is it made out of? Gold? Man, let me know when it goes on clearance.
Wise sayings and posts that I have made on social media, as well as a kid series book called The Street Preacher, highlighting the life of the Toronto street preacher, making street preachers heroes. Highlighting the life of the Toronto street preacher, making street preachers heroes, to inspire the young generation to be evangelists.
People have been assaulting me and becoming bigots and hate speech against my heroes. And so if you're willing to look at the evidence, this is all on my show right now. City TV News is right here. So I want to exercise my freedom.
I'm asking you.
It's an option. Yeah, I chose this location in Toronto. Does this have a special law in Church and Wellesley? No.
You've chosen this
Heroes. Life of the Toronto street preacher, making street preachers heroes. Heroes. I'm coming out with new tracks, like I said before, that will help you to evangelize as well a clothing line that is going to be not only modest for the women, for the men, but also evangelistic. Another thing I'm also coming out with is new music. And I came out with my single, Fire Upon the Land, and a new album will be released in about a month from now. All of this will be on the website, and so I want you to log in. It's davidjlynn.com, and I'm so excited because this year, 2022, is going to be a powerhouse year.
I'm sure it is going to be a powerhouse year for you, Mr. Lynn. You got your music coming out, your music videos, your books, your fashion clothing line, your counseling sessions, and the other courses that you offer. And even if you don't give a dollar amount for those courses, I'm sure a donation is still expected. Now, I got a quick question for you. If you are solely supported by your donators' donations, then how were you able to come up with the money to launch all of those endeavors? My guess is that you used the donators' donations to start and launch all that merchandise that you didn't even fund by yourself. So are you now going to make a profit from something that wasn't even funded by you, and then in turn sell it to those donators and other people? See, you already have a PayPal, you have your super live chats that make you money, and I'm sure the people are tithing at your church. See, I was on the fence about you because you seem to be a good man of God. But when I saw you rolling out all of your merchandise, it reminded me of all the other wolves that have done the very same exact thing, and they all got wealthy behind it. I sure hope that you're not losing your way, Mr. David Lynn.